score at least 4 and win by 3 to claim that spring season championship. Lacroix, the cross. Yes! Are you kidding me? Zayed with his third tonight. And Indy 11 winning the spring season championship.
Greetings, Indy 11 fans. Josh Mason from the front office, now taking some time to reach out to some old players ahead of the upcoming Sunday on WNDY at 4 p.m. You can watch, yes, the one game that you all want to watch, the Miracle at the Mic. And of course, we're with its star of the game, if you will. And I say star of the game only because the man put 3 goals in the back of the net in a game that we really needed it. With Eamon Zayed, former striker from Indy 11, all-around great guy, and one hell of a good-looking guy, if I might add. Take us back to June 11th, 2016. That night in particular, obviously the end of the spring season, back when there was a duality of the NASL. Tell me about that night, what we're up against, and what we had to get accomplished to get that game done.
Yeah, well, let me bring it back to the kind of week before that game, the lead up to the game, because it kind of all started what I think the lead up to the game. Obviously, we were going into the game level on points and everything else with regards New York Cosmos, but obviously they had a much better goal differential than us, and we had to win by 4. We had to win by 3, and I think we had to score 4. So I remember leading into the week, myself, Colin, Nicky. We'd obviously joke around a lot, but I remember we went for lunch one time and we talked about the game and what we felt was going to be the scoreline or what was realistic. And we kept saying 4-1. And throughout the week, we kept saying 4-1, 4-1. And that week, we worked a lot on finishing, a lot on shooting. And I remember a day before the game, June 10th, myself and Colin went to Jubilation, which for me is the best event of the year in Indianapolis. It's phenomenal. And it was my first time there, so I was really excited. And obviously, usually you wouldn't go to anything like an event or anything like that prior to such a big game. But then we went, and obviously we didn't drink, and we looked after ourselves. Didn't have any of the lovely food that was available. It was just to kind of show our face and enjoy the music and stuff like that. But throughout the night, we were just talking about the game, and I don't know, there was just something in the air. The night was great. We just felt a really, really good buzz about the game. The next day, and leading into the game, it was a strange one because I think everybody believed that we were going to do it. Anybody that I talked to, we'd almost convinced ourselves that we were going to do it, and I'm sure people looking in from the outside definitely wouldn't have given us a chance, because we obviously had to not only win the game but score more goals than we'd ever done in a single game. But the team spirit that year was really, really phenomenal. I mean, it really was. Sometimes you get lucky like that. You bring in a group of players. There was obviously a lot of players from the previous year, but there was also a massive amount of new players, myself included. And it can go either way. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And that year, it really did work. I just felt like everybody had a role to play. You obviously mentioned, the game itself, scoring the goals, but really everybody had a massive role to play throughout, and not only starting 11 but the squad. And the thing I can take from the lead up to the game was just the belief that we were going to do it, which, as I said, people would have thought it was a little bit crazy given the result that we needed.
And so what were the things that made that team special for 2016 that people may not know about? What was the chemistry like, locker room? What are the elements that you think really made you guys special?
I think Tim Hankinson went out and he brought a lot of experience in. And even some of the rookies that we had, I wouldn't like to call Dylan Mayers a rookie because he was such a good player, but I mean, people would have looked at him and Duke Lacroix as 2 rookies, but they had a massive part to play. Now I only named them 2, but there was more. Honestly, I think it was just the team spirit. I genuinely think we just got lucky with the players that we brought in, because a lot of us didn't really know each other before we got together. But I remember we got together, and one of the first weeks we went down to Arizona, and we just seemed to click and gel. And I think, obviously, again, leading up to that game, if you looked at our results prior to that game, we just had this sense of belief of never giving up, that no matter whatever result we needed, or if we were a goal down, or if we needed a goal, to win a game, we just always felt like we were going to get it. And I think that that stemmed from I think from the very first home game of the season. You know, I think it really did. I think we tied 1-1 and we got a late goal from Vuko, I think it was, to equalise. And it just, things just kind of went on from there, you know.
And it's been great. I said Duke Laquasta in the league with Charlotte, and Dylan Mayer's now with El Paso, so both playing in the USL Championship as well. So good to see those guys still around. Favorite moments besides the Miracle of Mike? Anything that really sticks out in terms of the things that really stuck out to you in terms of your season with us or seasons with us?
Look, there's loads of things. Obviously, I mean, look, I love scoring goals, so obviously goals stick out a lot in terms of games, and it was never about like, it's never about scoring goals in terms of, look at me, I'm great, I score goals and we won the game because of me. It was always what the feeling after the game between the lads in the locker room, and then the one thing that stood out, and it's, you might say it's a cliche or whatever, but it genuinely isn't. And if you ask anybody that's played in the league, in the you know, for the first few years at the mic, they'll say the same. The fans, they really used to go. I remember that first game. Obviously, I was a brand new player to the league and the club and the city, and nobody really knew me. But I remember that first game where I scored my first couple of goals against New York Cosmos. I think obviously after that game, you know, there just seemed to be a bond there between myself and the fans. That I felt it anyway. Hopefully they did too. But no, it was that bond between the players and the fans, I thought. And I think that game definitely was meant so much to me, because I just felt like after that game, I felt like, all right, well, I kind of belong here now, and I can kind of relax a little bit, and I've created something to start off with between myself and the fans and the team as well. And that was great. Obviously, there's numerous things off the field, but on the field, the first game where obviously I scored a couple of goals, and then the game to clinch it were the two big games that really, really stuck out.
So what are the things about, and I ask this to lots of players, of what makes Indy 11 special in the world of soccer? And your experience with us, I'm just kind of curious what sticks out when it comes to being a player for Indy 11.
Do you know what? So what sticks out for me is I've played with a lot of clubs.
All over the world, I might add. Literally all over the world.
Look, this is my 19th year as a professional player. So I've played with a lot of clubs, and every now and again, I think it's only happened maybe, you know, a couple of times where you go to a club and there's something within that club, the environment that they've created within the organisation, the front office and the fans, the community and the city. And it's never really, it's, again, from my experience, like it's never like, it doesn't have to be the biggest city or the most fanciest city or the most glamorous city. But it's a city who really do get behind their sports teams. Like genuinely get behind their sports teams. Not fans who pretend that they like the sports team just because they can wear the colours and, you know, say, oh, I support whatever. But they genuinely care about the team. And honestly, from the very start, I just felt there's something about the club. It was like a nice big family, really community-based family club. And that's that kind of club. That's the club that players want to play for, because you feel a part of it. You feel like every player, if you ask any player, they want to be like cherished and loved, and they also want to give back that same you know, amount of love and dedication and motivation on the field. And I just felt, yeah, every time we played there at the mic, or just walking around the city, you meet fans, you talk to fans, any events, you got like a genuine love and passion and interest from people, and that made it special. And you don't get that very often. Like, you genuinely don't. And I'm talking from experience. There's loads of clubs where you just come and go, and you don't really get any kind of connection. It's just not there. But 1,000,000% Indy 11 had that.
And then what are the things about Indy in specific that you miss? What are the hot spots? What are the places you used to go that really stick out in your memory that you'd like to get back to?
Oh, and look, I really enjoyed the city. I mean, I lived up in Carmel my first year, and that was really good. Really lovely place, really nice place. Kind of family orientated, but a nice area. But my second year, I lived with Colin Falvey in Broad Ripple, and I absolutely loved it. You know, it was just a lot of fun. I loved the Monon Trail. I mean, I used to get on it all the time, and there was a couple of restaurants like on the trail. Public Green stands out. I mean, I was there all the time. It was a great people watching spot, lovely food, nice coffee, just to chill out. So I loved the Monon Trail, and then downtown, obviously Massaf. I mean, I was probably a regular at the Eagle all too often. That's where we started our nights after a win. And that was great. I loved the Eagle. And then all along up there, Union 50 and just some cool spots around there. At the canal as well. I mean, I don't know how many times I walked the canal. I mean, that was probably my number one date spot, the canal. But no, it was great. I loved it.
And for those of you who don't know Eamon Zayed, I will be putting his Instagram logo but here. As you can see, every meal he's eaten since he left Indianapolis to now. So it'll get you guys caught right up in terms of all the things he's had. One of the things I will put in the bottom of the screen is all your social handles. Hopefully folks can find a way to follow you on social media. But the biggest thing is that you got one more year with Chattanooga Red Wolves at a minimum. What's for Eamon Zayed after a playing career?
I'm going to transition into coaching. So when I finished in the 11 or the year, my final year in the 11, I finished my UEFA B course. I'm currently on my UEFA A. I'm due to finish that. I'm almost finished that. I was due to finish that in, well, actually this month, but obviously with everything that's going on, it's probably going to be the end of the year. So I still love playing, still absolutely adore playing. The feeling of scoring goals, you just can't beat it. But I'm definitely looking at my next move, and that is going to be coaching. I was fortunate enough to work with Ball State when I was there in Indianapolis in 2017, and I absolutely loved it. It was my first taste of working with in the college realm, and I was working with women as well. So, I loved it. So I'm definitely going to get into coaching. Got the right qualifications, got the right experience. When I was at Charlotte, I was coaching some U teams. Here in Chattanooga, we have an academy as well that's set up. So I help out there as often as I can to get the experience. So I'm definitely going to delve into coaching. I'm kind of open to, there's so much coaching out there. I would like to work with academy teams, but if that wasn't the case, I mean, obviously university college coaching is something that I absolutely loved when I was there with Ball State. And then again, you have the pro game. So there's a lot of opportunities out there.
Certainly.
I'm definitely looking forward to it. I'm trying to do it the right way. I'm trying to get my badges and get the right experience first before I actually really, really get into it. So I think after this UEFA A course, I think I'll be well on my way now to starting.
Good. I said, as you know, Eamon, you're always welcome back in our city and our club. Love to have you. Love to host you, and hope to see you again. Just a reminder, everybody, 4 p.m. on Sunday, Miracle at the Mic on WNDY. You can watch Eamon Zayed and one Justin Braun score 4 goals. So for Josh Mason and Eamon Zayed, thank you for tuning in. A little bit more down the line with a couple of old players in the next couple of weeks. Thank you very much.
Cheers. Thank you.